I was at the Goodwill the other day and I found this awesome container for $4, and it was screaming to me that it needed succulents in it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing you're going to need to do is put drainage holes in it. So unless you're using a container like I've planted in flower sifters before that have mesh on the bottom, or an old colander, those will already give you drainage. If you're planting in an old toolbox or some kind of container like this, you're going to need to put drainage holes in it. So get out a drill, drill some holes. I'm actually going to plant in the lid as well, so I put drilled holes in the lid here too, as well as in the bottom of this container. It's a really good idea when you're buying the succulents to take the container in with you. Especially with succulents, there's so many varieties, and it can be really nice to pick out certain varieties that go really well with the color. When I first did this project and I had tons of containers, that wasn't practical. But if you're starting on a small scale and you're only planting one container at a time, bringing in the container can be a really good thing. It can also help you gauge how many plants you need. You can kind of sort of set them in there and see about how many you'd need to make it feel full. So you're going to need some succulents, however many you need to fill your container. And then you're also going to need some cactus soil mix. This soil mix is specially designed so that it's really free draining. Succulents store a lot of water in their leaves naturally, so you don't want to have a soil that really holds a lot of moisture in, because you'll drown the plants. Succulents definitely need good watering in the beginning when you're establishing those plants, but later they'll be able to take pretty good care of themselves and be able to handle the heat as well as the cold of the winter. But it's good to start them out in a good cactus mix that will give lots of draining. So drainage holes plus this, and I'll get them off to a good start. So to start, I'm going to fill this up. I'm doing this over the grass so that if I lose some through those drainage holes, it'll go in the grass, so who cares? And I ended up buying 2 of these. And if they sell it in even larger packages, I think that'd be even more economical. Hi, Beans. Beans gotta go check it out. Okay, scat cat. Goodbye. Hopefully those will be enough. I really want to plant in the lid too. Pet dog. Yeah, I think I'll have just about enough. This is another reason why it's good to bring the container in. I was able to set one of these bags inside the container, and that helped me to gauge that it was going to take at least 1 bag. And probably more, especially if I wanted to plant in the lid here. So I've got the soil in here. And now I think before I actually plant them, I might set them in here a little bit, just kind of see where I might like them placed. I chose a variety of some that were more low growing and some that were higher to make it interesting. And I also think it's good to plant in groupings. So I got 2 of the same kinds to kind of create some consistency so that it doesn't look so busy. And these 2 are also similar. They have some of those red tones to kind of be pleasant to the eye there also. So I thought I'd do 2 here, 2 here. Oops, pedal down. Maybe there. Now, when you're planting these, you can separate them a little bit. So some of these that are these little offshoots, I might stick a couple over here to get them going in this area. I guess by the looks of it, I could have gotten another another plant to stick in this space, but I'm just going to replant some of these offshoots. So these are called hens and chicks. Kind of thinking of like the big one as being the hen and then the little guys that grow out of it. And because I'm planting in sort of a shallow spot, I'm going to have to be careful about how I'm planting those. So I'm teasing the roots out a little bit. And they don't need really, these are spreaders, they don't really need deep spaces. And since this is so light and fluffy, I was able to just kind of move that soil out of the way. Then I'm also sort of pressing down on this new root area that I just added because I want it to kind of be firm in there. I'll give everything a good watering so it'll be in there nice and good. The last thing I want to show you is how you would plant, how you would take some of these chicks off and plant them to start to make a new plant. So basically, they come in pretty tight clumps, but if you are savvy, instead of buying a ton of $3.99 4-inch pots, you'll notice that you can start a bunch of plants from one 4-inch pot. And to get this off, this whole clump came in one 4-inch pot. So there's a little guy, there's one, there's one, there's one. All I did was kind of reach in there and gently pull it away. And as you can see, there's all those roots hanging down. So now I can just plant that guy by himself. And now I have another one. So as I have some of these empty spaces, I'm going to take some of these off and maybe one of these guys and just plant them in some of the empty spaces. Because I really think that with succulents and most container plants, dense planting is the way to go. And that's what makes container gardening so striking. So I'm just gently pulling that out. And then I'm going to make sure, ideally I suppose you would do that before or while you're planting, but that's okay. So that's that. I'm going to water it, and I'm really going to pay attention to this and keep it watered, especially during these hot months that we have now. Containers dry out really quickly, so you want to stay on top of it. And these will be hardy plants, and they will be somewhat drought tolerant, but we need to get them established first. So go out there and find a fun container and plant some succulents in it. And I hope you'll check out my blog at seattleseedling.com. You can follow me on Facebook for all the latest updates, and also on Twitter at Seattle Seedling. And subscribe to my YouTube channel for the latest video updates. And I hope you'll tune in next Monday for another video with tips on how to make your garden grow. Have a great week. Bye.